Hey, we're back for part 2 of this testimony episode. We hope you guys are drinking your coffee. We hope you got your tea. We hope you are having a great day so far, and hope you enjoy this part 2 of the testimony episode.
So I
Was
really,
it was long. It was years probably. I was just sorry.
maybe like more like 6, like 5.
It just didn't even feel like that long, but
Yeah, because it was like that was like 2010,
Sure was,
and then it was like 2016.
Wow.
So fast forward a bit, I come back home. Will and I started dating. I don't know if I want to. What?
Yeah, let's talk about that. What? Talk about how a 15-year-old
Oh my God, no,
16-year-old kid.
no.
I'm just kidding. But no,
No.
that is the
Okay.
truth. We started dating when I was very young.
Oh God.
You ever heard of Riz? Well, I had it. Had the Riz. I was going to say, you never called me. I would have stolen some of my parents' money and bought you a plane ticket or
That's amazing.
I'll work
anything
for
for Miss Brittany.
I'll get you home, Miss Brittany.
Oh my God.
And then
I
after
just,
we can go on a date.
I don't mind
You
people.
got to drive, though.
Oh my God.
You gotta
Don't got my license.
I don't mind people knowing that we have an age gap, but I just feel like in 2026 they're going to try to cancel you for it or
Oh,
something.
for sure. Well, it was important that
Wait,
both...
not him.
No,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, cancel me.
It was important that our parents and, they were all on board with, and it
Not
wasn't
just
even
on
that
board.
major.
Your
They
dad
wanted-
and Meredith
Yeah.
told me, they were like, we're praying for you and Will to start dating. We know you're best friends. I was like,
Yeah.
that is enough.
There was no
He's way younger than
sneakiness.
me.
There was no
no
sneakiness,
no
no
weirdness.
In fact, I think we knew right when y'all first started dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom was thrilled.
Anyway, I just got to always throw that out there.
Well, and it wasn't long after I came home from Hawaii that I just, really needed some time to recalibrate. Oh my gosh, spent my whole high school career saying I didn't want to go to college. I have no idea what I'm going to do. So I was really lost. I was really feeling like, do I not hear the Lord? And really what it was is that I was learning to hear the Lord, and I knew he had a heart, put in me a heart for ministry, because now at 33 I can fully say yeah, I know what the Lord's will for me is. I mean, maybe not my whole rest of my life, but I know what his path is for me. But I just loved the nations. I loved orphans, and anyways, I just couldn't put all the pieces together. And that's why it's been a blessing to me to be able to direct the teenagers at the church, being involved in youth ministry, because I'm like, let's do this, get some guidance when you're young to say I feel like God's, leading me in this direction, but I could have saved a lot of money do it. But I basically, I started Gaston College. I started working again. I was dating someone else on and off at the time. And yeah, I'll share this part of the story, but, Will and I had been friends, for a long time because we grew up in the same church, and he was always just so funny. I just loved being around him.
Still am.
Yeah. You're the funniest person I've ever met.
Thank you. I try very
You
hard.
and Lisa are so funny. So, and we know you try hard.
Yeah.
You like an audience.
I'm always coming up with new material.
Yeah.
Keeping it in the holster.
Oh, Lordy. Anyway, so I was dating a guy at the time, and I really, in my 18-year-old brain, was like, I'm going to marry him. And he started doing drugs, which was wild. And so I had people telling me that because he wouldn't even admit it to me. I was like, yeah, he's probably smoking weed. It's all right. I don't know why in my mind, my mom would have freaked out if I would have told her, but I didn't. And I just really, first major relationship was we're going to get married. And so there was this night that Will was dating someone, and his dad called me and said, I know you and Will have gotten really close as friends. Will you pray for him? I hate this girl he's dating, and I want them to break up.
Well, it was a major, it's part of my testimony,
Yeah,
but it
no,
was
I feel
this
ours go
major,
together so much.
it was this super dramatic, night. It wasn't just a random thing that he called. It was a major drama that had just happened.
Yeah.
At my house. And anyway, I'll tell that part later.
So, I did. Yeah. Cause I'm how do I tell our stories? I'll tell my side and then you get to yours eventually, next week. But I, So anyways, I said, yeah. So I like turned on some worship. I turned off my phone or I put it on mute. And for 3 hours, I was just like praying, worshiping, not just for Will. I mean, everyone, but really for Will. And then I turned my phone back on and I saw 17 missed texts from my boyfriend's mom. And she's like, I don't want to share like names, but she's like, he's in the hospital. I need you to come. And I was like, oh my God. So I like told my mom, I said I have to go. So I run off to the hospital and he is tripping. So he apparently, to my understanding, you cannot overdose on LSD, but you can take so much it makes you like go insane or something. So he had, and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, he's not smoking weed. Like these are hard drugs he's doing. And I've never done anything in my life. Like up until this point in my life, I'm almost 19 years old, never smoked a cigarette, never drank any. Well, yeah, I smoked. Maybe I tried like one cigarette. I don't know. Like regardless, very like straight edge or whatever.
Yeah.
Never done anything like this. And I'm looking at someone tripping and I was just like, wow. So at the Gastonia Hospital, at the time at least, there was like 2 separate waiting rooms, like the one you came into, and then there was like a family one maybe. Somehow I ended up, after I saw him, like in the family one completely by myself. And I can't believe I was in there completely alone. But I remember back in high school, my favorite, most wonderful, lovely teacher, Miss Hartley, who I just love so much, she talked about one time that she heard the audible voice of God, which now I just believe to be the voice. Like, I don't think there's a difference. I don't know, to me, but maybe there is to her, about who she was supposed to marry. And I don't know why. I just always was like, well, God, if there's an audible voice, I want to hear that, And now I just feel like it was still in my spirit at the time. But anyways, I was sitting in this waiting room alone. And at the time I said, like, if I've ever heard the audible voice of God, it was in that moment. And I heard the Lord say to me, do not let the enemy repeat history in your life. And I was like, okay. And I just left. And I got up and
I can preach right there.
Yeah, and I'd never even had any understanding that that's what was trying to happen. And God loved this person, bless him. I hope that he's clean now, but I knew like right now that's what's trying to happen. And I knew too, I never need to be like involved with anyone who has issues like this. Like it's way too close to my situation. So anyways, I get up, I leave. I was like, I'm going to let him come home first. Cause we had been dating for like 2 years. It wasn't like a 3-month thing, maybe longer. Yeah. Like we were like 15 or 16. So, I go home, he comes home, I break up with him that same night. That I was praying for Will so that he actually did break up with a girl he was with. Mm-hmm. So it's just a really funny like connection that although I didn't break up with this person that night, I'd made it in my heart like I would. And then Will broke up with that girl. So we were dating. Will and I started dating within a few months after that. Yes, we were young. And there was the thing there, but his dad and Meredith were thrilled. My mom was, super happy. I mean, she did say like, you just got out of a long relationship. Are you sure? I was like, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I didn't take that seriously.
He's super funny. I mean,
he's like, she, didn't make a ton of sense.
Funniest child I've ever met.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
You're welcome.
No.
See, I'm funny too.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
That got me off track.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It was funny. Okay. So anyways, we started dating, pretty casually. And then just the funniest thing, but we, I don't know, maybe been together 2 or 3 months, if that. And me and Will were so church kids. We're like praying and we together and we were, asking the Lord, and we both heard the Lord say, you'll get married on September 17th, 2017. Well, it was 2012. So we both get out our phones. We had iPhones like 4.
4S.
4S.
First one was
like
Siri.
a little brick.
Yeah.
And we like downloaded a countdown calendar. And so it was over 2,000 days away. Like I still have the screenshot. To people who don't believe us, it happened. I have the screenshot of the old like thing. You can tell how old it is too from the screenshot. And it was over 2,000. And we were just like, yep, that's the one. Like that's when we're getting married. So, yeah, I mean, not much happened during that time. For the first couple years we dated, I stayed home and got my associate's degree. Then I decided to go to App State to finish out my bachelor's degree. Will and I dated through that. And then right before I graduated college, Will decides to call a breakup with me. Like, just
Nice.
awesome.
Funny guy.
Just so
It was a bit.
what?
All a joke.
It's just a prank.
Gotcha.
And you would have thought that I was going to die. I mean, I was like, man, I had been through my dad leaving, not talking to him for years, him coming back in and out of my life. Like, both of my grandparents who were like parents to me, you know, well, no, I'm sorry, my grandmother was still alive, but my grandpa passing, just a lot. And I thought, none of that compares to this. Like, I was so sad.
I do forget. The timing of that was so horrible.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It was the week of my freaking birthday.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
graduating college.
Woof.
Wow, Will.
And just bad
Woof.
on a phone call after 3.5 years.
Not even Skype.
Not even Skype. Skype.
I hate to remind you. But anyway, so I did graduate and came back home. We spent about 5 weeks apart, 4 or 5 weeks. And I had already settled, like, I don't care what Will says to me. If he comes back, like, I am going to take him back. Like, I didn't care. And he did, and it was bad timing. It just was like it just shouldn't have happened. We shouldn't have got back together at the time. But we did. And we spent probably 7 months just not living great. Like, Will tell his side of the story, but just things were going downhill. And I don't think I'm a follower at all, but I for sure was like gonna do whatever Will was doing because I just wanted to be together. And so I knew, like, in my spirit, this doesn't feel great. Like, we're, hanging out with people we shouldn't hang out with. We're not really, I mean, we were going to church, but not involved in church. I kind of didn't even want to go because I would just feel so bad on Sundays. And I had like a heavy, heavy sense of conviction. And I just remember, like, that's why it shocks me sometimes when I see how people live and I just know it to be true that you end up hardening yourself, and just
Hardened heart.
truly getting a hard heart and searing your conscience, because for 7 months, I just really was like, not reading my Bible, not in the Word, like us just, doing whatever we wanted to do. And I felt horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it was the worst feeling. I never want to feel that way again. I felt so distant from the Lord. And anyway, so we, that's how it went. And then we broke up again. And I was like, oh my God, like, I got to do things differently this time. And the reason that it was so painful is because for me, I'm such a planner and I'm always type A, and I'm like, this is my future. Like, you're taking my future from me.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, and to make matters even worse, you broke up with me September 16th, 2026.
Wait,
No,
26.
That's this year.
Uh-oh.
History repeat itself.
Oh God.
Joke's on you.
2016. So in my mind, I'm like, we said
Wait,
we were.
really?
Yeah, I remember. And I was like, we said we were going to get married like a year from now. And it's so frustrating. Like, what is wrong with you? I was so mad. And I remember too, because it was 6 weeks
That's weird.
that we were apart.
I never knew. I never realized that.
Leading up right into beginning of November. And so what I decided to do this time is I was like, you know what? I am going to press into the Lord. This is what's going to happen. So I reconnected. BJ and Lisa. BJ had just lost his dad unexpectedly. And because of that, I wanted to reach out and spend some time with Lisa and just, I love you. Can we do anything? And I said, what can I do? And you were like, well, we need help with the youth. I was like, oh, okay. Can help with the
You're
youth.
like, not that one, Lord.
Anything but that. I was actually excited about it, but I never like spoke. It's just crazy, like how the Lord works, because like the first time I even spoke to the youth, it was horrible. Like, I probably talked for like 7 minutes, just bad. And now I'm like, speaking on every series we had. I don't know. It's just like, I could never imagine myself 10 years ago doing what I'm doing now. But Anyway, so I just, it was a really hard decision for me because Will was at Morning Star and that's where I always went, just wherever he was. And I went that last Sunday after I connected with you and I just thought, yeah, I can't. It's just not right. Like I need to be away from him and let him do him and I'm going to do me and whatever. And if the Lord brings us back together, I'll allow, I'll of course say yes. So I started coming here, and that's like where I feel like the biggest part of my testimony is like where I am now. Like praise the Lord that I grew up in church, that my mom always took me and that, but the doctrine I learned was so bad. And I'm not downing any denomination or anything like that. But for me, I cannot believe that I thought God wanted me to be sick, or that I was, or doctrine like with money, like, well, if you don't give to the church, then you're stealing from God. Like he's going to put you in a wreck. So you go to the hospital, he will get his money. Like these are just things I believed. And so when I met you guys, I just couldn't believe it. Like I could not believe what you were telling me. And so it was so good for me because I started to like, Will and I spent 6 weeks away, and I heard the Lord say to fast. And at the time I thought like fasting moved the hand of God. Like I didn't even know I was doing it, but I decided to say yes. And I was obedient. So I did a Daniel fast. I literally ate like fruits and vegetables. And what I decided to do was like every morning I would wake up and I would say, like, Lord, I'm going to pray for Will. I'm going to pray for our situation. And then I'm going to let it go. And at the time, I just didn't know anything like I do now, but I would tell people to do that if they were going through a situation. Like, you have to let it go, because it's not just like that cheesy, like, let go and let God do it, but it's like for your own sake, and anyway, so that's what I did. And I did that consistently for 6 weeks, and did not surprise me at all when Will called me, because I'd spent 6 weeks looking insane. Because I would tell everyone, I have a word from the Lord. Me and Will are getting back together. I don't care. He's coming back around.
I didn't tell you were crazy, but I was contending with you too.
No, and you were the only other person. My mom was very supportive of me because she loved Will. She actually did not know this, but she got together with Will outside
Panera.
They went to Panera and had lunch because she was so upset.
Yeah.
She was like, I just can't even figure out what's going
Good
on.
mom.
I hope I bought her lunch that day.
Probably
I
not.
don't know. Probably not.
You
I probably
owe
didn't
her.
have any money.
with your parents' money.
Yeah, I can't
With your
imagine.
allowance.
No, he was working.
No,
He
I
was
had-
working full time.
Was that at AT&T?
Yeah.
AT&T. And anyway, so
Tell the part too. You prayed Psalm 23 a lot too, and that
I
was
did.
a powerful.
Yeah,
thing
it
in
was
your-
because Will and I broke up. So it was my 23rd year of life, and the Lord. Such a dramatic one.
23rd year
Yeah, that was
here on this earth.
my 23rd year of life, the year of our Lord.
My 23rd solstice around the sun. Wow.
Okay. Anyways, I was turning 20. I had a reason to say that.
I don't drink coffee past 11 a.m. 23rd year of life.
It's all part of the show.
Okay. The year that we broke up right before is when I turned 23. And that's when the Lord gave me Psalm 23. Well, then when we got back together, I went back out of all that. But then we broke up again, and I started declaring Psalm 23. Like, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. And I would pray it every single day over myself. And it kept me like just consistent in the fact that, like, even though now I can stand on a promise of God and I know like what is true, but at the time I just didn't even have that. Like, I didn't have a foundation, I didn't have truth, but the Lord is so good that he would just take the little bit that I had and like multiply it. And so what I had was Psalm 23, and that was it. I mean, that was probably all I even read. Like, I just didn't know, but my word from the Lord. And like I said, I mean, now I'm positive when I hear from the Lord, like you just can't talk me out of it. But at 19, or I was 23, it was 23rd year of my life. So 23, I couldn't say for sure. So when people would say, well, Brittany, like, Will is doing his thing. Like, what if he doesn't come back around? I would say, well, then God will take care of me. And I would just, I just wouldn't even let people. I had a very close person to me look at me and be like, don't get your hopes up. You need to get out of this. Like, you are living in a dream world. Basically, I was like, I have a word from the Lord. And so the word for me was the Lord was like, you will be engaged before the end of the year. Like I said, we broke up in September and we spent 6 weeks apart. So we are really like pushing the end of the year. And I will not tell Will's side of the story, but he did come back around to me in November. And I was very hesitant. In fact, the Lord told me to keep fasting. And now I know it was because my heart needed to like have room to be forgiving and to heal. But at the time I thought like I was fasting for him. Does that make sense? You know, because that's like what I believe fasting to be. But that was November. Will and I got engaged December 31st, New Year's Eve, 2016 at 11:40 something.
We had enough time to get home to your
watch the
house
ball
to watch
drops.
the
It was
ball
around
drop. So
11.
it wasn't even,
Which makes me just like so like weirdly emotional right now because of how far like we've come as in our life. You know, we were both products of divorce. So, you know, not to give an excuse, but we didn't have a lot of like direction, you know, on marriage. And so I feel like we've really fought through like marriage and communication and things like that. But, so it just, I don't know, makes me emotional, but, that is what catapulted us to be here, which is like, you know, part B of like my testimony is just where I'm at right now. And just like, I cannot express enough. Like you cannot talk me out of what I know, you know, in fact, I could probably, if I was alone with the person long enough, I could talk you into how I believe, you know, I'm just so convinced of it. And prior to that, I just was very floating. Like I knew I loved the Lord. I believe in the Bible, you know, but I just didn't know. I didn't have any foundation. No one taught me like the goodness of God, like the nature of God was so life-changing for me, learning like the nature of God, that he wants me well. He wants, you know, me to prosper and things. Like it took me 5 years to get out, 5 years of like being around you guys, like listening to people like Andrew Womack and Ashley and Carly and Barry Bennett, and to like rid myself of like religion, you know, like I remember even really the biggest struggle for me probably was learning that God did not punish me. Like I remember, and it stays with me in youth group, like someone asked me that and I was just like, I don't know. Like I remember, you know, I don't know what I said to him, but I remember thinking like, I've got to think about, because I was like, yeah, I'm hearing from you guys that he doesn't, but like I've been taught my whole like, you know, and now I know like, yes, sin punishes you, like, you know? So anyways, it's just like, I feel that like what a journey the Lord has taken us on, that like we got to go back over my whole life and realize like every decision I made like brought us here and brought us to like, I mean, this church is a part of my testimony. Like you guys are like, and, you know, just one other like small part I want to share about our testimony, or mine, I guess, is Will and I, after we got married, we wanted to wait like 5 years to have kids. I think we made it like 3, maybe 3. Right? I don't know. 20.
Yeah.
3.
3 and it's about 3.5.
So we made it about 3, and it took us a few months, very small in comparison to some other people. So I don't want to lessen that. But we got pregnant and miscarried. And I feel like that I thought about this a lot. Like, am I going to share that as part of our testimony? But I think it's important because it is what led me to really standing on like, God, this was not God's will for us. And at the time I didn't know that. Like, I wish I would have like you guys were teaching us, but I needed to like, you know, like get this unbelief. Like, there's just no way. Like, I don't know. There's something.
Well, when you were talking, I was thinking like, it's because you're fully convinced.
Right.
And I feel like that's the difference sometimes than just being like head knowledge. Yeah. Then it's like in your heart and it's not coming out.
Yeah. And I remember like the doctors telling us, you know, it's gonna, you know, this pregnancy probably isn't viable and all this stuff. And that's the words they use. And I hate it. But, and I was just like, begging God to save my baby, you know? And now I just think that baby taught me and brought us to like, God, without a shadow of a doubt, like would never take my baby.
Right.
And I didn't even know that I thought he did, but if I was begging him to save my baby, then like, that's what I'm asking for, right? Like it's your choice to take the baby or not. And so, it's such like, I feel a powerful part of our testimony too, because it was a turning point for both of us in our life and our marriage. Like I will not be afraid of like sickness, because God like would never will that on me. Like he only wants, I can hear myself going in and out. He only wants me well, but he also wants like the baby as much as I do.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that really has led me into such a ministry with like young moms and being able to speak into their life that like infertility, miscarriage, without a shadow of a doubt, is under the curse. Jesus took that for us on the cross. Like, you know, he paid, we are no longer under the curse. In fact, I believe, you know, pain and childbearing is under the curse as well. And all of it, don't have to be sick. And so it's, you know, do I believe that, you know, this is where I think people get it wrong too. Do I believe that I miscarried so that I would have this testimony? Like, absolutely not. But it happened because we live in a fallen world or attacking the enemy or something. And, you know, anyways, and God made it good by saying like, you will grow through this. Yeah, and he
did something really good from a really bad
thing. He did. And so that's, you know, I would say like the last for me, and maybe you feel different. It was my last like major shift to getting like, now I am who I am. Like God took that situation, ridded me of unbelief, like, or I allowed him to, or you know, started taking all of this bad thinking and bad theology. And I just started like, because there was something in me that just said, I will never miscarry again. I will never have to work for a baby again. And we got pregnant with Jolie 10 days after I, you know, miscarried, and which is a miracle in and of itself. And she's a miracle, and Killian, you know, was a miracle. And, you know, I'm just saying that like, there was something about that horrible thing that I keep seeing these shifts in my life, like a shift when, you know, my dad left, a shift when, you know, I went to Hawaii, a shift when I came back and Will and I started dating, and then another shift when we broke up, and a shift when we got married. And then that last one, I'm not saying I won't always I'll always be growing in the Lord. And there's never a time that I'm going to be like, well, I have figured it out, obviously. But I feel that for me, that last like shift of who I needed to be to like grow and to be who God created me to be was when that happened. And he used it to bring me just this really like firm foundation. So go ahead.
No, I don't want to interrupt you, but I was just going to say, I love that your testimony, so many people have things like that happen to them. They're bad. And the Lord does something good out of it because he says he will. He says that he'll take all things and work them for the good of those who are in Christ Jesus. Yeah. And a lot of people take those moments and they say, see, the Lord, it was his will for me to have an addict father because I learned this lesson. It was his will for this child to die, to be miscarried, so I could learn this lesson. And I love that part of your testimony is that I know for a fact God doesn't do that. He did do good things from some really bad situations, but that's just because he's good. He didn't cause the situations, and he's just so good. Because you've had plenty of awesome growth moments that didn't come from these bad things either. But so many people just put it in a box and say, "See, God let this bad thing happen. I learned this," and you're just not saying that at all, which is amazing. Yeah. Also, share this part if you weren't already going to do it. But when you guys did experience a miscarriage, I think it started with the four of us. Probably started with the two of you, and then to the four of us. But you said we need to. I want to start declaring this promise from Exodus that no children in our community, that no mothers will be barren or miscarry. We started declaring that as a church, because of what you guys went through, and then shortly after.
Yeah. Well, I was pregnant with Jolie, and I was really meditating on these verses in Exodus because I was really believing for a pain-free childbirth, which I mainly had with her. I struggled a little bit more with Killian because I got big-headed. But I still, had him at home, and it was awesome. But yeah, so I was really meditating on these verses, and I would just declare over my home, like, none will be barren, none will miscarry. But then it says in your land. And so I heard the Lord say during my quiet time with him, like, what is your land? And I said, well, my house. And the Lord said, like, you've been given authority at the church as well. Like, the church is your land. And that's when I came. It was a Wednesday, and I just came right in. I was like, we need to start declaring this over our church. And we've really seen, to my knowledge, like, miracle after miracle.
At least 2 mamas that were told you'll never be pregnant have had babies, some multiple, since that moment.
Yeah, and like, I don't know anyone that's miscarried.
No.
That is at least told me, and the moms seem to be pretty open with us. We actually just keep having more babies, like lots of babies at the church.
So many.
And children are a blessing, and, it's just without shadow of a doubt, like, I know it to be true that God just wants you to multiply. Yeah. He does not want you to miscarry. He does not want you to be infertile. And it is a huge part of who I am to share that with other moms. But yeah, it definitely, God is so good that he put me on that last thing to me. I was like, wow, that did it for me. Like, I will never, something about being a mom, like, I had it in me from when I was little. Like, I want to be a mom. Like, it's just the one thing I want is to, like, be a wife, be a mom. And so there was something in me that was like, whatever you guys are telling me to be true, and then I was introduced to Nerida Walker, who was like, God, it's never his will to miscarry, never infertility. There was something about that it was such a drive to me that was like, if that's the truth, I'm going to get it, no matter what. And it just led me off the, like, deep end of learning, of just getting all of it out of me, that I was just, any crack, I'm going to shore it up in my foundation with the Word of God. And I'm going to make sure this is in me, because I will make sure this never happens again. Like, I'm probably talking too much, but I would sit around when I was pregnant with Jolie, and I was dealing with a lot of fear at first. And I would sit around and picture, like, the Lord would say, well, what would happen, Brittany, if you started, like, feeling that you were miscarrying? And I would be like, oh, I'd freak out. And the Lord's like, no, stop right now. You picture yourself commanding your body to
you're training yourself.
Yeah. Like, and so I would picture myself, like, commanding my, body to line up with the Word of God. Like, you will carry to full term 40 weeks. And I had both of my kids 39 weeks and 6 days. Like, I said, I will not have a baby one day before 40 weeks. Like, God said 40, I will do 40, like, and I would just over and over and over, I would just be like, I will, and there was some kind of gumption. I had to do it again with Killian, honestly, at first. Like, I've got, I always say, if I have another one, like, I will have no fear before that. Like, I will not be afraid. But I would just walk around, and I would just picture myself, like, if something was to happen, I will take authority. It will not happen again. So, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I like it.
Yeah. And so much of, like, I'll share, but so much of my story is wrapped up in that too, which is, as you're talking about it, it just reminds me of how good the Lord is. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
Brittany, thanks for sharing.
I like it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And we will be back to finish out this series with yours truly.
Better be funny.
Yeah, it'll be funny. It'll be.
Don't be sad. He'll take us on an emotional. Like, he's got a week to think about it. He's gonna be like.
I'm gonna really craft. I'm gonna spin the yarn.
Gonna make sure that it's a journey.
It's basically gonna be kind of the second half of Brittany's testimony, which is kind of cool. Part 2. But we hope you guys have enjoyed this series. Hope you're getting something out of it, like we are from sharing it. There's power in remembering, and so I know even just being in the room, we can feel that. So I hope that everyone is enjoying this. We hope that you come visit us Sundays at 10:30 right here in Gastonia, FCG. Come early for some coffee. Come hang out. come say hello. We'd love to see you. And we will be back next week with another episode. Until then, we're going to do our sign off, and we will see you soon. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us for Coffee at FCG. We are so thankful for you, and we would love to hear from you. So if you want to get in touch with us, send us a message, whatever you want to do, info@fcgastonia.com. If you'd like to give to our church, obviously we're a church, so it's a nonprofit status. You'll get a giving statement at the end of the year. You can go to our website, fcgastonia.com, and hit the giving link right there. It's a great way for you to, it's a great place for you to sow. So we would love to hear from you. Just conversation. Let us know your prayer needs. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. But we are so glad you're with us, and we will hear from you soon. You'll hear from us soon.